Rotate is another fundamental skill that we need to work effectively in AutoCAD. I'm sure you would agree it would be much faster to rotate a chair than it would be to draw a new one at a different rotation. Let's look at how we can use AutoCAD to rotate our entities. I'm going to go to my Open icon, and inside our Exercise Files folder under Chapter 7, we're going to come down and grab drawing number 2, the Rotate drawing. I'll highlight that guy and click Open to bring him up on screen. Now I've got a semi-abstract drawing of a clock. We're going to use this guy to learn how the Rotate command works. Let's rotate this hand. If I want to rotate entities, I'm going to come over to my Modify toolbar, and I'm going to click the Rotate icon. When I do, AutoCAD is asking me to select objects. I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on my hand, and then I will right-click to let AutoCAD know I'm done selecting. Now AutoCAD wants to know a base point. At what point would I like to rotate this entity? Well, I'd like to rotate it around the center of this end. Now I happen to have a running object snap of center, so as I move close to this end, I can click and I can grab the center of that arc. Now that I've grabbed that point, AutoCAD is asking me to specify a rotation angle. Also notice if I move my cursor, I could free pick a point on screen to specify the angle, but instead I'm going to type in a number. Let's type in 45. I would like to rotate this hand 45 degrees. It's important to note that in AutoCAD, a positive degree represents a counterclockwise rotation. So the fact that I've typed in 45, when I hit enter, that hand is going to rotate 45 degrees counterclockwise. Let's rotate him one more time. This time we're going to look at one of the sub-options of rotate. I'm going to come over and launch my rotate command. AutoCAD's asking me to select objects. I will grab the hand and then right-click. Specify base point. I can grab the center of the end of the hand. This is the point at which I'm going to rotate around. And at this point, if we look at the command line, we can see that I have a sub-option of copy. Let's use that. I'm going to right-click, and in the context-sensitive menu, I'm going to select copy. This will allow me to not only rotate my hand, but keep the original. All right, once again, AutoCAD is asking for a rotation angle. This time I'm going to type in a negative angle. This will rotate my copy clockwise. So we'll type in negative 60 degrees, and I'll hit enter. Now that we have an idea of how to use the rotate command, let's take a look at the rotate command in a practical example. Let me back up. If I pan over, let me center this on my screen. I've got some cubes. Now these are similar to what you'd see in an office or a bank environment. Now at this point I'm putting in furniture. I've already put in 2 chairs, and I've copied this chair down. I want to use it for this cube. Unfortunately, it's facing the wrong direction. So let's zoom in on this chair, and we'll use the rotate command to turn them around. I'm going to launch the rotate command. Select objects. Let me select the chair, and we'll right-click. Base point. Now, it's a chair. Okay, there's no real geometric certainty that I need for this object snap. I'm just going to pick a point someplace in the middle of the chair. Let me click. In my rotation angle, I'm going to type in 180. This will turn the chair 180 degrees. Okay, he's now facing in the right direction. Let's make another change. I'm going to back up. What if I wanted to rotate the contents of this cube? Well, since this is a cube, this area is a perfect square. If I wanted to rotate the contents, the only thing I really need to know is where the center point of that shape is. Let's create a piece of sketch geometry. I'm going to draw a line. So I'm going to come over and launch the line command. And I have a running object snap set for endpoint. So I'm going to come up and grab the endpoint here. We'll come down and grab the endpoint here. I'll hit my escape key to get out of the command. I'm sure you'll agree that the midpoint of that line would represent the center of that cube area. Let me hit escape to deselect that line. All right, let's rotate the contents of that cube. I'm going to come over and launch the rotate command. AutoCAD's asking me to select objects. I'll select this side return. I'll select my desk. Let me click on my chair. I'll also click on the computer. When I'm done selecting objects, I will right-click to finish the selection. And now AutoCAD wants to know what's my base point. At what point am I going to be rotating my entities? Well, I don't have a running object snap set for midpoint, so I'm going to come over and grab that guy from the toolbar. Let me click midpoint, and then I'm going to come over and hover by this line. Notice AutoCAD's going to find the midpoint. Let me left click, and all I have to do now is type in an angle. I'm going to type in 90 degrees because I want this guy to rotate counterclockwise. I'll hit enter, and that geometry is updated. The most important thing to remember about the rotate command is that positive angles will rotate your objects counterclockwise. Once you understand this concept, the power of this command is only limited by your imagination.